Jamal Walker is a normal guy who works full-time at Medieval World, a theme park. The park's owner is worried about its future because it is having trouble making money. Also, right next to them, a new theme park called Castle World is opening. The Medieval World will go bankrupt if they don't come up with new ideas. Jamal is asked to clean up the ditch around the park one afternoon. During this process, he sees a medallion which looks like it could be worth a lot of money, probably $35 from the gift shop. While Jamal was trying to get it back, he fell into the ditch and drowned, even though it wasn't very deep. He sees that he is no longer in the park when he gets out of the water. He figures that since Castle World is close to their park, this must be there. Jamal doesn't know that he has been pulled back in time to the 1,300 seconds. And Ty, a drunk, is the first person he meets. Even though he looks like he's from a long time ago, Jamal thinks he's just a worker in costume. Ignoring him, he walks into the city and finds a huge castle, which he thinks is the best thing about Castle World. He tries to get in, but the guards stop him. When they ask where he is from, he says that he is from Normandy. Jamal means Normandy in Arabic, but the guards think he is a French more they were expecting next week. They let him in and show him a busy market where everyone is dressed in clothes from the 1,300 seconds. He likes how true to life the theme park is, still doesn't know that he has gone back in time. All of a sudden, he sees Victoria, a beautiful girl. Jamal goes up to her to shoot his shot, but the cruel commander, General Percival, stops them. Just because he is a royal guard, he acts like he owns all the women in town. So, it hurts his pride when Jamal stops him from getting too close to Victoria. He says he will tell the manager about the bad behavior. Percival pulls out his sword on him, but Jamal thinks it's a fake and surprises everyone with how brave he is. After that, he meets a stranger who takes him to the king, even though that wasn't what he wanted. The king has made plans for his daughter Regina to get married to the Duke of Normandy. He thinks Jamal is a messenger and asks him when the Duke will arrive. Jamal, who is confused, goes along with it and makes up a date for later that day. He is taken outside to see someone being killed. He is excited because he thinks they are just actors acting out the story. The execution goes well, but Jamal's mood changes when he picks up the head of a rebel who has been killed. He is so shocked that he passes out and doesn't say a word. When Jamal wakes up, Victoria is already in his room. She thinks he is one of her people because he is wearing the medallion he found in the ditch. She gives him the medal she won, which looks like his. It turns out that the medallion is a sign of the rebels who are sick of the cruel way the king judges people. He unfairly took the former queen off the throne and killed innocent people who spoke out against his rule. The rebel group wants to get rid of him and put the former queen back in charge. Still not sure, Jamal asks the man, "Sir, what day it is?" and he tells him, 1328 AD. He freaks out and wants to go back to his own time, but he doesn't know how. Then, a guard stops them and invites them on a horseback riding adventure. Because Jamal doesn't know much about horses, his way of riding them makes everyone laugh. Even the king likes the show, which is why he invites him to a royal dinner afterward. Jamal makes the party more fun by dancing like he used to in the past. Everyone joins him, and it turns into the most lively party the palace has ever had. In the middle of the party, Princess Regina pulls Jamal aside and forces a kiss on his lips. Since he got there, she's been interested in him, but she was afraid to talk to him in front of her dad. Percival catches him in the act and is furious at how bold the new guy is. At the same time, two rebels are about to attack the king. Jamal hangs from the chandelier and, ironically, saves the king from the rebels by landing on him. When things settle down, Percival gets in trouble for not doing his job right, while Jamal gets praise and is made the leader. Percival is filled with anger and jealousy, but he has to keep his head down. Jamal has been given a lot of responsibilities by the king, who chose him to be in charge of security. He suggests rebuilding the entrance to the castle with his head, which he says will keep the enemies away. But before the plan can be put into action, the king calls him away for something more important. Even though his family was hungry, a farmer was caught stealing a turnip from the royal garden. He is going to be killed because of what he did. Also, Jamal has to take care of the execution because he is in charge of security. When the king leaves, he lets the poor farmer go and gives him some money to buy food. At night, Jamal asks to be shown the best chamber that can be made for him to enjoy. He picks Victoria and tells her he wants to sleep with her as an excuse to get her alone in his room. Victoria still wants him to help the rebels kill the king and be a valuable member of their group. Jamal no longer wants to rebel, though, after seeing that the king kills people over vegetable. Victoria is upset, but he says he's not the right person for the job. She says that he is a coward, and a woman comes to Jamal's room at midnight and makes love to him. He doesn't say anything because he thinks it's Victoria. The real messenger from Normandy shows up the next morning, and the king finds out. Jamal has told them lies. He, the messenger, and the guards barge into Jamal's room and find him naked with Princess Regina by his side. Percival accuses him of forcibly deflowering the prince. Jamal says that someone else got to the flower before him, but no one pays attention. Regina is no longer fit to be a duchess, so the messenger calls off the wedding. Because of the chaos, Jamal is put in the dungeon and put on trial for his life. In the dungeon, Jamal makes friends with the two rebels who tried to kill the king. These rebels have already given up and are ready to die. They tell him the story of a revolutionary soldier named the Black Knight. People think the knight could not be bought off with any amount of money and would fight hard for justice in one of the battles. He was eaten by a dragon whole, but with the help of a gold sword, he cut himself out of the beast's stomach and killed it. He could even breathe fire like a dragon after what happened. The next day, the three are brought before the crowd and put to death. In a moment of panic, Jamal tells people that he is a wizard from the future who can burn everyone. He uses a lighter to try to prove his point, but it doesn't work. When he was about to be beheaded, the person who was going to do it started to choke on an apple. The crowd thinks that he has killed him by doing this. Jamal goes along with the wrong idea and acts like he is going to do the same thing to the crowd. The common people see his power when a fire breaks out nearby. But in reality, the rebels are trying to save their people by shooting flaming arrows from outside the castle. In the end, Victoria helps Jamal and the other people get out of the castle. Jamal also meets a drunk man named Nte while riding a horse and finds out about him. He used to serve as the queen's knight before the king deposed the queen and kicked him out. He was one of the best warriors in the kingdom. He became an alcoholic in the end, but everyone knows that the fighter in him is still alive somewhere. After spending some time with the group of rebels, Jamal realizes how bad things are and decides to help them kill the king. He finally sees three men bothering Nte for no reason while he is in the woods. He helps the man, but the thugs catch him too. Milk comes out of his shell and fights the bullies to get away from them. Jamal, now, he wants to stop drinking and help the group reach their goal. When they go back to the settlement, they find it in ruins. It turns out that Percival and his soldiers destroyed it and took Victoria away. No one thinks they can ever win this fight. When the former queen shows herself, she tells them that she has been helping them from the shadows the whole time. The group will spend the next few days getting ready to plan a better attack. Jamal, who can see into the future, shows them how to do things that are used in American football and pro wrestling. This gives rebels who don't have weapons a way to. When the time came, he learned from Nte how to use a sword in a basic way. The day of the attack finally arrives, and the group gets ready to fight for their lives. Nte shows them the way to the castle, but Percival's guards surround them in just a few minutes. They have less people and are being pushed back. Then, to everyone's surprise, the Black Knight himself shows up on the battlefield. He comes in with a big show, telling the guards to get out of the way. Besides that, he can also make fire come out of his mouth. The rebels finally think they are about to win, but then the Black Knight falls off his horse, revealing that he is actually Jamal him. Percival is about to kill himself when Nte comes to his aid and fights the guard. After that, there is a fierce fight between the two sides. The common people can trick and beat many guards with the tricks that Jamal taught them. During the fight, the king runs to Percival and begs him to get him out of danger. Percival thinks he is weak and not fit to be a leader. So, when the king tries to tell him something, he tells him to shut up and pushes him off the castle into the moat. The battle seems to be going in favor of the rebels until Percival shoots Nte with a long bow, seriously hurting him. After that, he takes Victoria as a hostage. Jamal Bolts comes to save her, and they fight using a method that Nte taught them. Percival is surprised and tries his best to stand his ground, but Jamal wins in the end and saves Victoria while he is holding her. Percival gets back up and gets ready to kill Jamal for good, but Nolt, who is still alive on the battlefield, kills him with a shot. In the end, the rebels win and everyone looks up to Jamal as a hero. A few weeks later, he needs to go back home. He says goodbye to Victoria and gives her one last thing. Before she leaves, the queen gives him the title of Black Knight of the Kingdom. It was racist, but it was nice. After a while, Jamal wakes up in the 2000s with a paramedic and his coworkers from the theme park around him. They said that he drowned in the ditch and was saved, but since then he has been unconscious. Normal people would call what he did a dream, but Jamal knows it wasn't that because before he went back in time, he wanted to quit his job and move to the castle-themed park where he could make more money. But now that he knows almost everything about the Middle Ages, he has changed his mind. He tells the owner his ideas, which make the theme park more on theme. That's how businesses act. Jamal. It does so well that it overshadows the opening of Castle World. 6 weeks later, Jamal is walking in the park when he sees a woman named Nicole who looks just like Victoria. Nicole says that he looks like someone she knows, and the two of them start talking. They can feel the sparks. Nicole, on the other hand, has to leave because of her nephew. Jamal suddenly remembers to ask her for her phone number. He runs after her, but as he tries to catch up, he falls back into the ditch. This time, he wakes up in the ancient Roman Colosseum, where lions are about to eat him. Critics didn't like this movie, and there was never a second one, so Jamal probably died.